Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK. My BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston Young.
And I am Sir Jason Rhodes, guest again on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel honored.
Wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffington Post. All right, so today we're taking a break from Buffy, and it's time to once again review Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 9.
Yes. Waited all week for this one.
Oh, the Dance of Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, very important to...
Oh yeah, a few things we gotta point out. We gotta give HBO credit for one or two things with this episode.
Okay.
It has now been 2 episodes. That's right, you heard it first here. Two
episodes of this one season.
Of this season.
In the same season.
With 0 boobs.
0 boobs. At least 0 boobs that are uncovered. Even in the brothel.
This is, I know, crazy.
Even in the brothel,
Like,
I just realized.
This is a new standard for HBO.
Yeah. Go TV.
Well played. Well played.
Also, as far as, television, I do just want to say they had 10 days to shoot everything that they did in Dorne. They clearly only had about 5 locations, I would say.
Yeah, from the photos I've seen. Yeah.
Right, and from just what we've seen presented to us. Mm-hmm. And I feel like HBO is the creme de la creme of television, but it is still television.
It still costs money to make money.
Yes, and television's budget, and yeah, this show probably has the biggest budget ever. And
but still.
It's still TV, and, I feel like the Kings and Dorne have been just, we're still making television here.
Yeah, they're very small. We're nitpicking really hard to find something wrong with Dorne. I've
gotten to... Yeah. After getting to know Dorne.
Yeah, I mean, after a few episodes, it's grown on us pretty hard. It really has. We both have a new appreciation for the Dorne aspects.
And I just want to say, I do appreciate that it is a television show. We can't just expect it to be exactly what we want all the time.
And everything all the time.
And so, sorry, Dorne. We love you after all.
Yes. Sorry for the early hate, but we're doing well.
All right, so absent completely are the Vale, Winterfell, King's Landing, and the Ironborn are still not in the mix.
MIA.
They're not even on Stannis' board.
Nope. Or on the radar of anybody, apparently.
All right, so here we go. It's our review for Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 9, The Dance of the Dragons. There's an opening credit sequence, but stick around. Don't go sacrificing your daughter flying off on a dragon. We'll be right back.
Or eating any honey locusts.
Oh,
no,
none of that.
You want to be on top? Wanna be on top? It's time to make it happen. You know that we don't stop. And when you get it hot, you gotta be on top. Wanna be on top? Wanna be on top? Wanna be on top?
Alright, so we open up with Stannis.
We do. He is stuck in the snow.
Yeah, they're stuck in the snow. We see, Melisandre is in her tent. She's looking at her flames, like she do.
Oh, yeah.
And she has this moment where she's looking into her flames, and it's almost like she sees fire in her fire.
Something is wrong.
From what we see.
Something is wrong. It's not the normal fire that she looks into. She sees...
Right, there's a shift in...
She sees something different.
In something.
Yeah.
And so, she has this sixth sense. She goes out, and then, holy crap, the whole place is on fire.
Yep.
We have this flaming horse comes out from nowhere, and we find out that the next day when we're surveying all the wreckage, it looks like an attack of about 20 men probably could have done this in the night.
Yep. And food stores are gone. Siege weapons are gone. A lot of the horses are dying off because of this.
Yes, and Stannis orders for the men who were standing guard in the night to be questioned and then hanged because they did not do their job
properly, apparently. Yeah.
They make note of the fact that the Northmen know the territory better.
True, and they can slip in and out undetected.
Yes. Yeah. And and so Davos says, okay, we don't have food. Like, we need to get back to Night's Watch somehow if we're going to be doing that.
We should march back to Castle Black, is what he's telling Stannis.
Yeah, and Stannis says we are not returning to Castle Black. No. We're just not. I've decided, and he is he's looking at this carnage and he's seeing that Melisandre clearly was right.
Yeah, and he's realizing now that he's going to have to sacrifice everything he has
Yes.
to achieve his goal.
He says, take the horses and butcher them for horse meat.
Yep. Very potent right there.
And and before this we see the ominous ladies standing over there looking creepy, like they do. And it's at this point we realize that he's made this decision. He's going to go with Melisandre. He's going to trust into the Lord of Light's plan.
Yeah. Also important to note, the Boltons have struck first. This is very bad for Stannis' morale, for his army. They are being attacked by an enemy they cannot see or know, and they'll never know when it's coming. That's a very scary proposition.
And they're already there and in charge.
Yep.
So they've got the upper hand on two fronts. They know the place, and they're already there. They're already where Stannis is trying to get.
They've already hit with the element of surprise.
Yeah. They Air Force this guy. Hard, fast.
Yep.
Okay, and so Davos is just not happy with this. It's kind of like an Davos moment. He's trying so hard to talk some reason into Stannis, but like we said, Stannis has made his choice. He's there's no turning back for Stannis.
He is set in stone, quite literally.
Boom. I thought that was Shireen.
Anyway.
You're so cute. Okay, so we done with Stannis for now?
Yep, Stannis is, I think that was the end of the Stannis.
Yeah, we leave with Davos. He's looking sad.
Yep.
Let's go up to the wall where
Jon is returning with the wildlings. We had some issues with the map on this, but you could have several workarounds, something like this. So, if we want to nitpick,
we want to nitpick, but our last episode was long enough with the nitpicking.
Yeah, we'll save you a bunch of time.
Let's just say they should have landed at Eastwatch from Hardhome and marched south of the wall. And just settled them there.
Rather than having to come back through the Black Gate.
Yeah, on the north side of the wall. But anyway, beside the point. So they're all back. Jon, 1-1, Mother Mole's kids, they're all...
Important to note here, Alistair Thorne has that pivotal moment on the wall where he's like, hey, your fate is in my hands right now. I could let you starve. I could totally let you starve out there and never let the gate up, right?
But I'm going to let you in.
He is not happy about it, but he is obedient. I'll give him that.
Yeah, because Jon pretty much said, you're a dick, but you're respectable.
Yep.
And so...
Yep. And I think they're operating on somewhat a mutual level of respect now.
And, Benjen, Stark, there's a level of respect for the Starks. And Jon is very Starky.
Oh, yes, super Stark.
He's super Stark.
Super Stark.
Open the gates. And Jon's like, that really could have gone badly.
Yeah. Ooh, he was sweating bullets for a minute there.
Because he's already failed.
Yes,
according to him. And if he hadn't made it through, it would have been just a tip of the iceberg. And this is what he talks to Sam about.
Yep. He says to Sam, it was a failure, an absolute utter failure. Nothing in Hardhome he views he did any good. It was just he lost the dragon glass. He got a bunch of people killed. Right. He was unable to save thousands.
Yeah, we couldn't get all 5,000 people out of there.
It was an aspect that was not explored in the books, which gave the TV show a very unique opportunity.
Yeah, and it gave Jon more of a real responsibility.
Yes.
Like, I brought these people here, myself, from far away. They are super wild.
Yep.
And,
but
they're with
people.
us now.
They're people, though. You can't abandon them.
And so, like you said, Jon feels like he's failed all these people. He got people killed.
Yep.
I mean, they were going to get killed,
yep.
But he got his own men killed in going to try and rescue these guys that they did get. So
he's got no friends at Castle Black at this point.
There have been losses on all sides, including the White Walker side. Which,
yes.
Yay! Let's not forget that Jon still has Longclaw in his possession, and we now know that
it works.
We can defend ourselves against the White Walkers.
Yes.
So Sam is ever encouraging. He says, "You didn't fail all of these people that you're getting. Sure. These people are going to remember that." And Jon says they're also going to remember my failures.
Which is why it's important to have Sam next to Jon. Because if Jon was just to see everything as a failure, he would never strive for greatness.
Yeah.
Sam is that character to say, hey, you actually did a lot of good here. It's just that you are focusing on the negatives. You need to be more positive about it.
Yeah, we have characters like Alistair Thorne who want things a certain way, but they haven't had to work for anything.
No.
Jon deserves the things that he has been given, more or less. You could say that Commander Mormont was a bit favorable toward him. But
yeah, but I wouldn't say that he didn't work for the position he's attained.
Right, he has really earned it. Yeah. Overall, and that's commendable, and that's what Sam really gets across to Jon a lot of the time, and that's why he's an important character for us.
It's like he needs to be reminded every now and again that who Jon Snow is. Right?
And so, whoa, there is a giant in our midst just walking around on the wall, and everybody's kind of in awe.
Like,
and
oh, that dude's really tall.
yeah, and the giant, he's just not really paying anybody any mind.
He doesn't mind. It's no big deal, right? Whatever, right?
But we are running out of food at the wall. We didn't have enough food to feed Stannis' army. That's why we kind of had to send him packing early.
Get on. Yep.
Yeah, and giants are big. They eat a lot. They eat a lot of food.
They do. They do. Not to mention the 3,000 wildlings he just brought through the wall.
Yeah. So
He has to feed them as well. Can't just let them starve.
So yeah, and he brought all these nice folk over.
Yes.
And Sir Alistair says, "You've got a good heart, Jon Snow."
A great one. But it's gonna get you killed.
Yeah. It's gonna get us. It's gonna get us killed.
Us. Yeah.
It's gonna get us all killed.
Pardon me. It's gonna get us killed.
Yeah, because he's just sure that the wildlings are not going to play nice once they
Yeah,
come over.
and it's going to be a bad scenario. He is dead set on that.
So, poor John, poor me. We leave him in the snow.
Yep, he's just alone up there by himself.
And
Where do we go next?
we need to go to Camp Stannis, where the Boltons are ruling the board. Stannis is looking at his board. Davos comes in, and Stannis says, "I'm sending you to the wall. I need you to go and tell the Night's Watch that."
I need men and supplies.
Yeah, I need men. No, they just need food, really.
Well, they need reinforcement.
Yeah.
Period is what they need.
They need food. They need weapons. And he says, "Tell him that in exchange, I'll provide him with men once I take the Iron Throne," which is
future promises. Future promises.
yeah, that's
okay.
a long way from now, Stannis. You haven't even conquered the North.
Holding his breath for that. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, and he says, "I'm your hand. I can't just abandon you. I'm supposed to be by your side. That's the whole point of me being your hand. I'm your right hand man."
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he says that you could send a boy with a scroll with this kind of information.
Yes, but what happens if the boy with the scroll gets turned away?
Exactly.
Stannis takes this point to point out that he didn't make him hand for his military expertise. He made him hand for the fact that he's a smooth talker.
Davos is the voice with which Stannis speaks.
Yes.
That's how...
For good reason, too.
Yeah, Stannis has gotten everywhere he's gotten pretty much because of Davos.
Stannis is a very brusque person. He does not speak well.
People don't like him.
He demands shit.
He's like, this is this, that is that.
Yep, and...
He's not eloquent.
No, he's not tactful or eloquent, but Davos is both in spades. Like, he really... Yeah, he's a smooth talker. He's smooth as butter. That's the phrase I'm going to use.
So, let's send the smooth talker with, "Please, Princess Shireen," or "Please, Queen Selyse. Let's please keep the girls out of the fray."
Yes.
Shireen, at least, does not need to be here. And this is where we see Stannis says, "I'm keeping my family with me."
We see a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, Davos will not stand for this.
No, which is why he's being sent away.
Yes, that's what this is about. At this point, when he says Shireen's not going with you, she's staying with me, he's sending Davos to keep him out of the picture.
Oh yeah, so that he won't have to fight Davos and his own personal feelings towards this at the same time.
And so, Davos has been given this assignment, and he's walking through the camp, and he sees that the rationings are being poured out.
Yeah, the men are starving and freezing. On top of that, it's a bad situation for them. It's getting worse and worse. Napoleon in the winter in Russia. We mentioned it last episode.
Briskly approaching.
There you go. Okay, so,
yes. What do we got? The rationings, and it's cold, and so he comes in to Shireen. We saw in a few episodes ago, after Shireen had been talking about this, or Stannis and Shireen had been talking about this doll that he had given her, and it gave her the grayscale, and we saw Davos whittling something, and I said it looked like he was whittling another doll, and he was. He comes to give her a gift. He asked her what she's reading.
Yeah. Well, let's mention what that gift is right quick. That is a stag of House Baratheon, right? Yes. Which we'll play in later in the episode.
Yes.
We'll leave it to be a surprise for now.
Because, she's the princess, and he gave her this little thing that's kind of herself.
Yes.
And, so she's reading The Dance of Dragons.
Yes, very big metaphor for this entire episode, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, not only literally, but metaphorically as well. It's very,
And she asked he says, "Oh, that's a good one." And they're talking about this knight with a mirrored shield, and that he had polished his shield so much that it looked completely reflective.
Reflection, yeah.
And his plan was that this dragon would see itself in the shield
And assume it was another dragon.
and no, this isn't how it works.
Doesn't work out.
When he sees this reflection of himself, he sacrifices or he burns this guy anyway.
Yeah,
So.
it's an idiot behind a blinded shield. Yeah.
Right, and so yeah, he was making a doll. We see he presents it to her, and she says, "Oh, thank you so much."
Yep.
And she asks for if a dough. She asks for a dough
To keep it
to
company.
give the stag some company.
Yeah.
And this is important because it's Davos and Shireen making future plans.
Yep.
He's probably whittling a dough on his way to the
Yep.
wall right now.
It's definitely a kind moment between them, which is important to have.
Because what we were talking about before we started recording was Davos. He's here talking about his son and why he gave her this gift. And he says, my sons, they were always on me to try and read, and I didn't. And his sons died.
Yes.
A couple of them have died in the.
3 of them have died, from what I remember, and he's got one living one back in. I'm not sure where that is. Is it?
It's an island? Question mark? I'm not sure.
Well, minor details. But that being said.
But yes, Davos is away from his wife, and I think he has a young daughter as well.
And for all intents and purposes, majority of his children are dead.
Right, and so Shireen is a surrogate daughter to him, and she's also a teacher to him. She's taught him to read, and that's why he's giving her this gift. Because
Family. They've become family.
Yeah.
Over the course of this journey.
She's closer with him than her mother or her father.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen some sweetness recently between Stannis and Shireen, but it hasn't been there before.
It hasn't been to the level of...
Yeah, it took us by surprise.
Yeah. It definitely was different. I wasn't expecting that from Stannis. But that means... Yeah.
There'll be more of that.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, and he says, thank you for teaching me to be a grown-up.
Yes.
Which is so lovely.
It's a big moment for both of them.
And again, they're making these plans. He says, you can read that to me when I return. And she says, you can read it for yourself.
Yeah. Remember that line.
Yeah.
You can read it for yourself.
All right. So, way down in Dorne.
Yes, we're going to travel across the planet.
Jaime is walking with Ariel He's being escorted.
Yes.
Rather.
Yes. Not unsure of the scenario. He had a very unsure look on his
Yes.
face. Yeah.
Things are up in the air for Jaime.
Yeah.
And he comes into this nice French/Italian salon situation. They're
super
chilling
nice.
in Dorne.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Lush. Posh. Very nice.
They've got wine. They've got food. The
and,
whole setup.
and they're always chilling.
Oh yeah, it's a totally relaxed affair.
Yeah, we should have been recliners for Dorne.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, he comes in. It's weird. Marcella's here with Tristane. He comments on her dress and how revealing it is.
And how cold she must be. Yeah.
Oh, the Dornish climate agrees with me, Daddy. I've been here for a while. And that's the thing.
Uncle.
That's the thing. She's talking to him. I think that Marcella does know. I think she must know.
I think she has suspicions, but hasn't really in denial kind of deal, right? Like, I don't want to admit that.
But the underlying dynamic here is that we as an audience know that they're having an exchange
Between father and daughter.
Right, and he's talking, and I was saying earlier, it's like 8 simple rules for dating my inbred daughter. So yeah, where are we?
We're at we're breaking bread.
Well, no, we're talking about Tristane's flea bites.
That's true. Yeah, he asked him how his jaw was, right?
Mhm.
Because Tristane is the Prince of Dorne, and you did kind of punch the Prince of Dorne. That doesn't normally work out well.
And Tristane's like, oh, it's just a flea bite. It's nothing, girl. And we talk about the necklace in question.
Yes, we do.
Jaime says, my sister was presented with a necklace that she gave to
Marcella.
my niece.
Yeah.
And it was in the jaws of a viper, and that's threatening, and that's why I came here. That's why I came into your home.
Which is where the point where Doran looks at
Ilaria Sand,
and just like, did you really? Did that?
Yeah, with no words, he is just like, coming in my country, I'll run shit. Okay,
This
and
woman next to me.
So, yeah, they exchange looks, and they've got food, and Jaime says, oh, what is this, my last meal? Mm-hmm. And he says, no, I don't want to start a war. Yep. And that's exactly what that would do.
Yep, he totally would.
He basically didn't say, we all know what your sister would do.
Yeah.
Because I guess they haven't gotten word about King's Landing.
No, word would not of that.
It just doesn't make sense because, the ravens flew everywhere to get to Peter in the earlier season.
Yeah.
Or in the earlier half of the season.
We've got some rather inconsistent ravens.
They were communicating with glass candles and this shit. I don't know what the heck, but yeah, so no ravens have leaked about the Faith Militant.
But yeah, not only that, but something about Cersei would have leaked out to Jaime at some point, right?
Well, I just feel like
and if
the Faith Militant was in charge for maybe like a week before everything went down with Cersei herself.
Yeah.
Ravens are going out. I don't think Dorne is out of the loop.
No, but I think
the Faith Militant being armed,
those ravens, and what information is put into those ravens.
You have people like Qyburn in the mix here.
That's true. You do have Qyburn. Yeah.
Okay, like I just don't understand how nobody in Dorne.
Inconsistent ravens is what we're gonna.
Unless all of this is just happening
simultaneously.
No, like everything in Dorne is happening. You know, bam, 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 bam.
Oh, okay. One after another.
Like weeks haven't passed.
Okay.
It's just been days in Dorne. Whereas in King's Landing, that time
has been stretched out.
Right. Okay, that might be it. Okay, but anyway, so he says, "I don't want to have war. You know, this isn't going to be war." And
I've seen war. Yeah.
Yes,
and he's seen the tragedies of it and the outcome for his people. He doesn't want that for his people, which I respect the Prince of Dorne more and more every single episode.
Yes, this guy has a head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He may be confined to his chair, but he's sitting there brewing.
Yeah.
And so we have guessed right.
We do.
We're going to break bread with the Lannisters. That's exactly what we're going to do.
We wanted to bring up guessed right because it's a common theme for most of the better families, I suppose you could say, in this show, or like better natured families.
Yes.
They will always entertain guessed right.
The Boltons and the Freys so far are the only people who we have seen
betray that outright.
Yes. Go against guess right.
Yes.
Unless you count Cersei, because she pretty much turned her back on everybody in King's Landing.
Well,
and that's technically her house.
Yeah, true.
So, okay, but she's getting hers, kind of.
Again, bad things happen to bad people. People who observe guessed right do well.
There you go.
That's what we found.
Punchline. Mm-hmm. And, so he says, come eat with us. Let's toast to King Tommen, the first of his name.
Yep.
And
Ilaria commits some alcohol abuse.
Yeah. She gave up wine for today.
Yep.
And it's pretty awkward for a moment, but Doran says if King Tommen really wants Marcella, I can't disobey my king, and you take her back with you, and you're gonna take my son Trystane too.
Yeah. And not only that, Trystane is going to be serving on the High Council in Oberyn's place.
Yeah, because that's a Lannister promise you made us, and here we are in bed with you. We're marrying you, so keep your promises.
We got to make the best of our situation.
So he says, okay, you have my word that will be how it is. And Ilaria says, oh yeah, the word of a Kingslayer.
Mm-hmm. Very salty. Super salty.
Right, so she gets up to walk out because she says, it's no wonder you're confined to that chair and you can't walk. You have no spine.
Trying to be super salty.
And she's trying to walk out on the Prince of Dorne.
He grabs her right then and there. It's like, look, I have mad respect for you. I love you because you are the mother of several of my nieces whom I dearly love.
Yes.
But I will put you in the dirt.
Yeah. Don't cross me, boo.
This will not go well for you. You try me again.
She's a spicy lady, and Oberyn likes a lot of spice, but this is not Oberyn.
No.
Doran is not going to deal with
insubordination like that again.
That was exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Why you have me here?
Thank you. He says, I'll kill you, boo, but the matter of Bronn comes up.
Yes.
Jaime asks, what about my man, Bronn?
Yeah, like, he was following my orders. There's no reason to punish him. I should take the blame. And Doran asks Trystane what he should do, right? What he would do. He actually leaves it to him.
He says, if he's gonna rule one day, let's throw this one at him.
Let's give him some practice, right? And Trystane comes up with a very clever solution, I think.
Yeah, Jaime's like, well, it was just a flea bite, huh? And Trystane weighs that. And he says, well, I did say as such.
That's true. So,
all right. So I just wrote down, I miss Arianne, because let's all just not speak, but take a moment of silence for Arianne and her wonderful plot that is being completely undercut and muddled. Okay.
Moment over.
So let's go play this lap game with the sand snakes who are growing on us every episode.
Yes, they're getting better and better. Like, we started out as Power Ranger 1993, and we had that discussion a while back, but But they are getting better and better every episode.
They really are growing on me, I have to say. Maybe it's because I'm trapped down in a cell with them and I don't have any choice.
It could be, but the scenes were fun. They were well acted out, and yeah.
Yeah, Nymeria and Tyene are playing this lap game, and she says, I'm better, I've always been better, I'm so much better. What do you like better, humiliation or pain? Are you gonna cry, boo? You gonna cry?
Yep. You gonna call your mama? Yep.
Nymeria is very sure of herself. I think in this instance, she is our Ilaria. She's like, I know what's right, I'm here, I'm going. And you've got Tyene.
Who takes after?
Doran. She's a mirror for Doran, I believe.
I believe you meant Oberyn, right?
No, I'm thinking about Doran.
Oh, I see,
because
okay.
Tyene is biding her time.
Okay,
She bests Nymeria.
That's true, yeah.
She's biding her time. She says, you think too much. Tyene's down in the cell. She's enjoying herself.
Oh, yeah. She's making the best of a bad situation.
Oh, yeah. She's not like Obara. She's not just gonna lay back there and sleep. And she's not like Nymeria.
Who's just gonna do push-ups 100% of the time to stay fit or something like that.
Yeah, she's just trying to prove how great she is in jail.
She's trying to have a good time.
Tyene's in jail.
Yeah.
She says, you know what, I'm in jail, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna flirt with the guy over the way.
Yep.
I'm gonna give him this antidote so that I can,
have a massive amount of power over him for a small moment.
Yeah, and just have somebody else down there to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, she like Doran is not reveal everything she's got.
No.
She's making the best of her
situation. She keeps her cards
situation.
close to her chest.
Yeah, and she slaps Nymeria straight across the face.
Surprise!
So Aereo comes down, and it's time for Bronn to meet his fate.
Yeah, Aereo gives them the, am I going to pull over this car look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nymeria was ready to go for Tyene.
That's such a good scene. But
Wait, come back there.
Yep, Bronn leaves the cell, and it was Nymeria who came up to him and was like...
No, Tyene. Tyene's a
Tyene,
woman.
that's right. Tyene comes up
and
to her.
she says, who am I, baby? Or she says, who am I, handsome?
The most beautiful woman in the world, of course.
Yeah, she's definitely the most fun.
I'll give her that. From Bronn, if I was in Bronn's perspective, I'd probably say exactly the same thing.
I was thinking something weird. I thought that maybe they were going to have Bronn to marry one of the sand snakes. I'm glad that they didn't do that.
They might fall for each other because he's still technically single, right? He got absolved of that last marriage, right? So, whatever.
Well, in theory.
Well, yes.
We don't really know what's going on with Lawless for real.
Yeah,
and so she says, I'll see you later, handsome. And Obara's just like, you're such a slut.
Yeah.
But Tyene's just having fun. What else is she doing? She's in jail.
Yeah.
So,
We have the meeting with Jaime and Prince Dorne and Bronn. Bronn comes in. And we decide to tell Bronn he's going to go free, right?
Oh, are we eating pie?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a plush setup. I'd like some wine, please, right? And then Jaime...
No, he says I'd like some pie.
Oh, he'd like some pie. Okay.
That's what Doran says.
Okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, Jaime breaks the bad news to him. He really does.
He's like, you're free.
But there's a small catch. There's a rather large dude standing next to you who's about to...
And I like that Jaime's the one who gives him the nod. He's like, okay, go right ahead.
He's like, here's what's about to happen. And yeah, it was a good moment watching him get decked.
Yeah, nice little exchange between Bronn and Justine as well. He's like, sorry about the other day.
Oh yeah. And then the best line of the episode, in my opinion, so far, is Prince Doran's sick burn after Bronn gets knocked out. Would you care for some soup instead?
Yeah, maybe some soup. All right, so down in Bravos. Okay, so off to Bravos.
Yes.
But before we do, might I offer you a honey locust?
Ah, wow, thank you. But no, I'm feeling rather strong, and my bell was wrong the other day. So.
All right. Trying to be hospitable.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have any either though. Okay, so instead of honey locust, let's have some oysters, clams, and cockles with Lana, the orphan girl, in Bravos.
Indeed, she's following her normal route, heading down towards the pier, and she comes across the Thin Man. She even readies the poison.
Yes, she comes to the Thin Man with for whom she has been tasked with killing.
Yep. Yeah, but something catches their attention.
Yes, we have some visitors coming in from King's Landing. They happen to be right there. The banker happens to pick them up right there, across from the Thin Man.
Very hospitable.
And yes, we have familiar faces.
Yes, we have Meryn Trant. Yes.
Sir Meryn.
And we also have...
Mace Tyrell, the Lord of Highgarden,
yes.
and Warden of the Reach.
Yeah, well, not only that, the Master of Coin for the King as well.
Also, so they are here to discuss with the Bank of Bravos Terms of payment and
on the debts that are outstanding
Yes.
to the throne, which are massive by that
Yes.
point. Yes.
and keep in mind that, like I said, Peter Baelish was running.
Things on a. I'm not sure whether he was running a tight ship or whether he was actually embezzling money.
That's
the
what I think.
entire
I think
time.
he's funneling money.
Yeah, there's not enough detail there.
Yeah, but basically, we know that Peter was in charge of the money for a time, and now we're
and he would always
broke.
have a magic coin. That was the phrase that they
yeah.
had.
He could rub.
He could rub his fingers together and coins would appear.
Yeah.
He would find coins in places that other people could not.
Yes, and so we don't have our thrifty master of coin anymore, and things have gotten out of hand. And here we are. That's why they're here. And he asks, the banker asks Mace Tyrell about how things are in the Reach, and apparently things are great. They've got a really good harvest of grapes.
He could be lying, but that being said, he's probably just giving him a happy-go-lucky kind of outlook.
Yeah, and Mace is a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't see a bad situation until it was too late.
Yeah, he's no Olenna.
No. But that being said, he promises to send him a case of the Arbor's finest
Yes.
when if they can get stuff resolved.
Like we said last episode, the Arbor has some great wine.
They do, yeah.
But the banker doesn't partake. He doesn't drink.
No.
And so basically, favors aren't going to be working with him. He needs
No.
cold hard cash.
Yep. This is the bank.
So yeah, they go on and they talk about interest and
Yes,
how
yes,
it was once illegal in Westeros. And yeah, we need to talk that interest down a little bit. We need to get rid of that. They talk about gambling, or Mace talks about gamblers. The banker
Yes.
replies that we don't gamble.
Yeah.
We're not gamblers.
Yeah.
And Mace says, you guys are the best gamblers in the world. Look what you've done on all of the bets you've won. You've built this amazing thing. You built yourself a sure thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Mace, he starts singing. He's almost charming in his wretchedness.
If he wasn't so forward about it, he'd probably be a little bit more charming, but he's off-putting. He's just downright off-putting.
He's trying to be real buddy-buddy with the Bank of Bravos, but like I said, they're just interested in cash.
He's the guy you leave at the bar, right, and go home.
Mm-hmm. So then finally we get away from, or Meryn gets away from Mace and the bank.
Yes.
After they are done discussing their
to do
money.
things that soldiers do.
Yes,
that,
we
in this time frame.
Yeah, we go into a brothel.
Yeah.
So
pass some time.
yeah, his soldiers are like, "Hey, you paying?" He said, "Yeah, but I'm not sharing."
Yeah.
So Lana comes in with some aphrodisiacs.
Yes, she comes in to spy on Meryn Trent, I think is what it was.
Yes,
she
she's followed him. She had been following
Yeah.
throughout Mace Tyrell's conversation,
Yeah,
and she stopped outside the bank.
She wanted to know if that was actually Meryn Trent, or she wanted to know what the deal was inside there, or maybe she was looking to poison him. We actually don't know what her motives were with walking in there initially.
Yes,
but
and
it is important to note that she came in on her own to peek around.
yes. She's the first in a way, but of course she has oysters, and one of the girls is hungry, and so she and her
She makes a sale.
she and her fella buy some oysters off of her, and he gives her a silver.
Yeah.
So back with Meryn in
Oh.
the choosing room.
Oh my goodness. This dude.
Okay, this is where things start to get icky in the
Yep.
episode. So 3 women are presented to Meryn Trant. All 3 of them, he says, are too old.
Yes. And they've been gradually getting younger and younger. And younger.
Yes, and even the really super hot one, none of them show the boobs.
No,
boobs.
0 boobs. Good job, HBO.
Even the really super hot one with like the pigtails.
Good job, HBO. Good
Yeah,
job.
good job on her.
We know you had to really try not to show boobs, so
Great choices for non-boob showers.
yes.
But no, none of them are good enough. He says, "Do you have what I want, or do I need to go somewhere else?" She says, "No. I'll be right back."
We got this.
So,
At this point,
no.
Lana gets caught at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This soldier comes up. He wants some
Some oysters.
off of her, and he says, "Look, Meryn
Hey,
Trant,
man, look what we got here.
look at this little girl with
Yeah.
a little clam."
And the attention shifts for just a moment, and we both had that moment of, oh shit,
Mighty,
yeah, this could be really bad for Lana here.
because when we first saw her on the docks, she was being sexualized.
Yes,
These guys
she was.
came up and were
Yes.
catcalling her, basically. Catcalling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, they did, and it was important to note that she is now of age and looking old enough to be sexualized.
Yes,
right?
men
So
are sexualizing her, and so it put this fear in us that
Yeah.
Meryn
Something
might say, "Ooh,
might
that
happen
one."
here. Yeah,
But she did have her poison either
yes,
way.
she did. She did have a trick up her sleeve, but still, it was a bad scenario to be in.
Yes, and so thankfully, shoo, go
Yes.
away. Madam comes back, and
Dan
she's
Mother
brought in
out.
Lady Rosy Cheeks, or Miss Rosy Cheeks, because
Oh.
she's young. She's tall and thin and wispy hair and just fresh as a summer breeze.
Oh my goodness.
And you were saying, Jason was saying she might wash dishes in here.
Oh,
it looked
yeah.
like the madam had
Oh
just
yeah,
gone and like,
it literally
grabbed
looks
her.
like they pulled somebody out who had been there maybe a month
yeah,
or so,
'cause
right?
she's got to make
Poor
her.
destitute person who's just down on her luck, like mom and dad just died or something.
The House of Black and White will probably be her next stop after
Yeah.
this little encounter.
And it's just it's such a wretched scenario to be thrust into. It really is.
Yeah, and so, young girl, and there's an hourglass presented to the girl to make sure that, her time is satisfied.
Yep. And he's like, no, I'll tell you when we're done.
Yeah, he dismisses the rules.
Yeah, it's no,
And-
just no.
And he says to make sure that she's got a fresh one for him tomorrow, which implies that he is, he's either got a fixation, some kind of impotence problem where he can't get it up for more than one woman.
True. Or he goes through women faster than he can get a hold of them.
And maybe he is going to brutalize this
Yeah,
girl, and she will be unfit.
That's very likely the scenario.
Yes.
Which is,
And so,
I'm sure people will be ranting and raving about how Game of Thrones promotes this, that, and the other.
yes, Mom.
Anyway, moving on.
And then we're back down with not Jockin in the House of Black and White, where he's giving the gift of mercy to one of the House of Black and White's many compatriots.
Yes, people that are there. And
Her patrons.
patrons, yes. They have a discussion. He and Lana have a discussion, and it almost comes across as he knows exactly what she's going to say.
Yes,
and
she says that.
none of that seems like news to him.
Yeah, she says the thin man wasn't hungry today. And he says, is that so? Okay, well.
Not only does he not call her out on the lie, but he just goes along with it,
Yeah.
right?
And he says, well then, you've got work to do tomorrow then, and you've got work to do now.
Yeah.
And so we get the notion that Jockin knows that she's lying, but
Yes.
he's not calling her out or
No.
whipping her for it.
No, in fact, I'm of the belief that he knows fully well what's going on here.
And
And go ahead, drop your theory now.
I am of the belief that the banker who met Mace Tyrell
On the
and
docks.
Marin Trant
On
on
the
the docks right in front of Arya, Lana, a girl. I think that is not Jockin. Yeah,
The faceless man.
that's Jockin. Okay, like he's the banker. The Bank of Bravos and the House of Black and White are two sides of the same coin. I think that the reason he knows Arya is lying is because he saw her there the whole time. He was having this conversation with Mace Tyrell,
And he knows everything that happened.
and he's running the bank.
Anyway, theories. We'll see.
And so now she has to go and attend to these bodies.
Yep.
And we leave her, and we go down to Dorne.
Do we?
Yeah, we go down to Dorne.
Okay. What's going on in Dorne right now?
Ilaria is having to swear allegiance to Doran and
that's right.
says, if you were going to stick around here, you're not going to keep playing these games.
That's
You're
true.
going to kiss my ring and kneel before me in front of your
Sand
Power
Tracks.
Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers. But yes, it's the classic bending of the knee. It's I believe in second chances, but not
They're
third
not
chances.
thirds. And she
Right.
is crying. She's
She is mourning Oberyn's death and her fight for Oberyn at this point. That's what she's doing.
because she's not just fighting against Oberyn's death.
No.
She's fighting for the same reason that Oberyn was fighting in the first place. This disrespect to Elia of Dorne.
Yeah.
This is bigger than just Oberyn. This is
the disrespect all the
this
way
is
along
the
line.
Martell family name,
Yeah.
and Elia is not a Martell. She can't be a Martell, but that's her family. She goes on to explain to us how family is different in Dorne.
Yes, it is.
And so she's crying, and some of the snakes are crying for her, and again, no third chances. But she's a free woman,
She kisses the ring and moves on about her life. Yeah, she makes the smart call.
and she snakes her way into Jaime's quarters.
Yes, she does.
He was also now a free man. He's making his arrangements to.
He's no longer in a cell. He is now in a living arrangement.
Yes.
Because he's had guest right.
Yes, he's a guest. he's not a hostage. He's a guestage,
No.
as Andrew would say.
Mhm.
So So Ilaria is mocking his handwriting. He's
Ah.
trying to send word with his left hand to
Yeah.
King's Landing that things have gone okay. He's
Yep.
got Marcella. He and Tristan are coming back with her.
Yep.
So she makes fun of his handwriting, and he apparently has somebody to transcribe this for him.
Good.
And, he talks about sending word about Marcella.
Yeah.
And Ilaria remarks that he loves her very much.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he's talking about his niece.
And we've got the double entendre of she's talking about Cersei, whereas he's talking about his daughter. Niece thing.
And so, and he says, oh, and she goes, why do you think I would disapprove of that?
Yeah, like he doesn't admit to anything. He's very. They've always had to be very cautious about saying something like that.
Right.
But now they're in a land where this is not disapproved of. This is commonplace.
We're in a place where women hold serious power.
Yeah.
We're in a place where, the Mother Roynar is still, or the Mother Royne is still worshipped by a few people. Like, things are just different in Dorne. It's a very sovereign nation. It has much more flavor of the East than do any of the other Westeros territories. And so they are very progressive and open-minded.
Very much so. Yeah.
And so she says, if your name was Targaryen 100 years ago, this would have been fine.
Yeah. It would have been fine.
Nobody could have said anything to you.
Yeah.
She says, we want who we want. And I'm just questioning Ilaria's logic, because she says, I'm sorry about Marcella. I know she wasn't responsible for what happened to Oberyn.
Yes, and perhaps even you too.
Yeah, even you. But the whole thing is, you were there. It was a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Oberyn volunteered to be there.
Yeah, it's not like she didn't see exactly every step of the way.
And, I don't want to. I was about to get all Robert on us, but
Oh,
no, I
let's
can't
not
go
do
there
that.
again. Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Okay.
Do we move north? Are we going to just...
Yeah, we're going to stay in camp.
Yep.
Aren't you cold,
I
Dad?
am freezing.
Well,
Okay.
Stannis is not.
Okay.
Shireen says, aren't you cold? He says, no. He's coming into her tent. And once again, she's still reading The Dance of Dragons.
Mm-hmm. Which is a beautiful metaphor for the current situation that Stannis is in right now.
Yes.
It really is.
It's all about family infighting and brother against brother
And making choices.
and fire.
Making choices.
Yes. And, she talks about thousands of people were dead, and the Targaryens never really recovered from this division within the family.
Yeah.
And he says, why do they call it a dance? And she says it's poetic. And I think it's called a dance because you at some points lead and you at some points follow, and you go back and forth. And the dragons, they go back and forth.
Yeah.
Between riders.
Absolutely.
And they actually swap sides as well.
Yep. Yep.
And so she says that she wouldn't have chosen Rhaenyra's or Aegon,
No.
or Rhaenyra or Aegon, because it was the choosing that caused all this horrible stuff to happen.
Yep. Yep. And Stannis remarks that sometimes in life you just don't. I mean, you have to make a choice. There's no getting around it.
Yeah, you have to be a grown up.
Yeah.
And
Choices, difficult choices.
Yeah.
Very difficult choices. And at this point, we speculated that Stannis had already made up his mind.
Yes, especially with the language that he says.
Oh, absolutely.
He says he has to
Yeah.
be true to himself.
Yep. Yep.
That you don't always have a choice, that sometimes your destiny is going to fulfill itself and you have to let it. And you have to become.
Yeah, even if you hate yourself afterwards.
Yeah, even if you hate what it is you become, you have to be whatever it is that you decide to be.
Absolutely,
Or want to be. And she says, Daddy, I want to help you.
Oh,
I'm your
scene.
princess. I am Princess Shireen of House Baratheon.
Lord.
I am your daughter. And he says, forgive me.
Yeah. This scene is the whole reason Stannis came into that tent is to absolve himself of the guilt of what he's about to do.
Yes. And just like with the mirrored shield, Stannis comes in and he looks at Shireen, and she is an image of himself. She is the last Baratheon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
there's...
she's still holding that wooden stag, right?
Yes, and he looks at her, he sees himself, and just like the dragon, he's going to burn her.
Yeah.
So Stannis...
Let's see.
Shireen is being shuffled up.
Yeah.
She's very confused.
Yes, but she's still clutching that stag, mind you, right?
Yes. She's got Davos' little figure in her hand.
Yeah, and she doesn't quite figure out what's going on until she sees Melisandre at the very end of that line.
Yeah,
that procession.
she sees the altar first, and then when she sees Melisandre walk out in front of it, she understands exactly what's going on.
Yep.
She's less than thrilled about this. This isn't how she wanted to help.
Nope. I don't think that's what she had in mind.
Yeah, she saw it, and then her, and it was on, and she said, oh no, where's my father? This can't happen to me. Where's my father? Where's my father? So they just take her on up, and...
Stannis steps out
Yeah.
to show her that hey, I've approved of this. This is what's going to happen.
Yes, and Stannis, as he did with when he was watching Jon. He's going to stand out and say, yeah, I'm watching this. And we see that he's resigned to it.
Yep.
And Martha Stewart Solis says it's a good thing, right? Like this is a good thing.
I'm gonna convince myself and you of this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's trying to make sure that she and Stannis are agreeing on this.
On the same page, and that they're going to be together on this decision.
Yes, and she says this is a sacrifice, but it's going to help us, isn't it?
It's a good sacrifice, is what she said.
Yes, and she says it will lead our way.
Yeah.
And yes, Lisa's trying to convince herself until Shireen screams instead for her mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Once that starts, she breaks down. She runs. She's got to try and stop this, but the decision has been made, and what Stannis says is law, and it's going to happen that way.
He's king.
Yeah.
To all of these men.
Yeah.
And Solis, I've been really hard on Solis. She's just a creeper. She's just not a very nice person. Kind of like Stannis, I guess, but way less likable than
Perfect
Stannis.
mate for Stannis, actually.
She's very sallow, and she's just. I thought that she would be the one to go behind Stannis' back and do this.
For the sake of Stannis. Yeah.
But remember, she keeps her stillborn children in jars, and Shireen is her only living daughter. This is the only thing that she's been able to give Stannis.
Yeah.
And they fought hard to keep her alive.
Oh, yes, for several years.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so her motherly instincts finally kick in way too late.
Yep.
Way too late for poor Shireen.
Poor Shireen, yeah.
And poor Solis, you know.
Yep.
But the screams, this. Oh, you guys! All of the controversy about episode 6 and Sansa.
Yeah.
This haunts me.
It's outweighed by what happened this past episode. It really is, because that was a brutal audio.
Haunting.
Brutal.
Just. And I said, this is too much. This is too much. No more. I didn't wear my grammar police shirt today because I can't support Stannis anymore. Yeah. Davos. I love Davos. We love Davos.
We do.
And that's why Davos isn't there.
Yep.
And yeah.
This also begs the question of, will Solis stay true to Stannis' cause in the future? Because now that she's seen or given up the last vestment of what is hers, right? She has no reason to remain close to Stannis anymore.
She has no reason to remain anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like... Well, I mean, now she'll be the queen, but she has no heir.
Yeah.
And she... Like I said, the only thing she ever made... Melisandre is the only thing that Stannis and Solis have left.
I did want to point out that when Shireen was being burned, she had the wooden stag with her, which I thought was a great metaphor for her being the last of the Baratheon family, because Stannis has devolved into something that is no longer Baratheon. Robert's dead. His Solis is no longer anything relating to Baratheon, and Shireen is the only one left who really exemplifies the values of that family.
Tommen and Myrcella are not Baratheons.
No, they're Lannisters. And to burn that...
The last remnant of your
house.
Of your name.
Yeah, is very finalizing for the Baratheon family.
Yeah, it's like the dire wolf with the stag.
Yes.
Antler in its throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's very symbolic. Very nice catch.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so Stannis is basically looking like, what have I done? This had better pay off.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going to go down to Meereen and deal with Daenerys, Stormborn, the Unburnt, Queen of Meereen, Queen of the Andals and the Rhoynar and the First Men, Khaleesi of Great Grass Sea, Breaker of Shackles, and Mother of Dragons.
What a name.
What a title, this
Man.
bitch. Woo. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Anyway, we walk into, we come into the fighting pits.
Very
yes.
Cinematically. Oh,
yes.
It's lovely.
Great cinematography this
Lovely.
week. Yes. The fighting pits was by far, I think, our favorite scene this week. It really was. Yeah, it was. But Hizdar shows up late.
Yeah, everybody's there but Hizdar. And we're sitting here like,
well.
Any day now. So he shows up, and Dario stands betwixt Daenerys and Hizdar. Very nice blocking. And so we start off with free citizens of Meereen to remind us all that we are now all free citizens. This is what Dany has brought here.
There are no slaves.
Yes. And we get into the issue of two combatants are brought forth, and will it be the strong or the quick? And they both pledge to fight and die for the
glory.
Queen's glory. Yes, and
I mean,
just kind of sits.
yeah, the big man, little man fight. It's a classic back and forth. The banter between Tyrion is really nice there, and
The astronauts are the cavemen.
Yeah, it's really it's a fun little scene. It really is.
And
because,
so,
and then I think Big Dude eventually takes a really long swing, and
well,
are we stepping too far?
yeah, we're stepping a little too far.
Okay. Oh, that's right. She starts.
So she's just standing there, and she's like, "This is."
Is it gonna start? Like,
And
what
he
am I
says,
doing?
"We're waiting on you. Collab, girl."
Oh, here we go. Shall we? Yep.
One, two, three.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so to clap is like, when you clap for something, you're approving of it. And so for Dany, this is very symbolic. She is saying, I'm doing this. I'm going to approve of this. This is my home now.
Yep. Let the games begin.
Let the games begin, and begin they do.
Yes.
Damn, that long sword.
Yes, that range though. Oh my gosh, just.
Ooh, and Hisdar is talking about how it's been his experience in pits that large men usually win.
Triumph over smaller men.
But his experience in the pits, Dany says, have you had any experience
Have you killed
in the
anyone?
pit? Yeah. Have you ever killed anyone who was trying to kill you? And she and Dario are sparring back and forth with Hisdar.
And they know the answer to this, of course.
Yes, and Hisdar, or Dany and Dario are both characters who have literally killed fighting for their lives.
Yep.
She's not just been shooting her dragons around on everybody like people who tried to murder her. Dario.
Yeah, Dario.
He's arguing for the little man. He says the
that's
quick.
right.
He says, I was little and I was quick.
And this guy would have bet against me, but hey, I prevailed.
And that's how I won my freedom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a very important thing to remember. Yeah.
And so, either way, the strong win.
Yes.
Is what Hisdar thinks.
Yes.
And he turns to Tyrion and says, I guess this isn't really your game.
And Tyrion replies with something on the lines of, I've seen enough bloodshed at this point. It's, this is no longer entertainment for me.
Yeah.
I'd sooner spend my time doing something else.
Right. Like, this isn't leisure time.
No.
This isn't how we have fun.
Not fun.
And Hisdar puts at him and he says, what of greatness can be attained without cruelty and killing? And what exactly is necessary for greatness is the question that comes up here.
It's a very philosophical question and thought, yeah.
And Dany says, you think this is necessary? Really? And he says that it's necessary for Meereen.
Yes. Which it is. It really is. I mean, Meereen would not be functioning without those fighting pits.
Meereen has been doing this long before Westeros
was around.
Was chilling.
Yeah.
So he says that Meereen will stand long after you and me and your dragons are dead.
Yep.
And she says,
not if I raise it to the ground.
Right. Your city can die too.
Yeah.
And he makes this comment about Meereen will stand, and Tyrion remarks, my father Tywin Lannister was and so he's arguing with Dany. He says that you think your reasons are true, and their reasons are wrong because you're in a position of power and you can say so. And basically Tyrion says, you're very eloquent. You're good at talking, but that doesn't mean you're right.
No, but in my experience, eloquent men are as right as fools, I want to say.
He says that right men can be as eloquent as imbeciles.
Yes.
Or that imbeciles can be eloquent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so Jorah.
Yes.
Hey, Jorah.
We introduce the new fighters, and then all of a sudden she recognizes the voice.
Yes.
Sir Mormont is standing there in front of her.
And it's this moment, like this is what I've agreed to. This is what I'm supporting. I'm gonna let this guy come in here. And Hisdar goes to say something. Dario just shushes him.
It's like, yeah, stop talking.
Yeah. And so again, she's going to approve of this. She claps. And this is, I thought, very much like his Myronese trial by combat in the style of the Seven, but it's kind of bringing Westeros and Meereen into the same kind of, just a molding of cultures.
Yeah, he's fighting for his absolution for Dany.
And basically we see this look in Dany's eyes where she's deciding, like, if he survives this, maybe I'll pardon him.
Yeah.
Because, he'll be worthy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because of they say, I will fight and die for your glory.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
So there's a couple different fighters in the pit.
Yeah, we've got
he has some challenges. We've got shiny shield guy.
We've got Careful with That Long Axe Eugene.
Yes. We've also got
Water Dancer, Blood Rider.
Yes, and I think Westerosi Knight was the. And no, we had.
There were 5, I think.
We had
in the
Spear
fray.
Marine guys. Who
Yeah.
we had.
Amir and Spearman.
Yeah, Marinese Spearman. That's what it is.
And so, yeah.
They're getting whittled down one by one.
Yeah. Jorah's taking some hits.
Yeah,
and
boy.
He pulls out his knife. He handles it. We see who goes down first. The Blood Rider actually goes down first.
Yep.
And then Jorah had his knives. And then the Water Dancer says, "No, I mean you."
Yeah.
And so
Very eloquent. We hope that Lana might develop into that someday. That'd be cool to see.
it'd be nice to get her back into her training in swordplay.
Yeah.
And then Water Dancer gets him down, and he's taking way too long. If
Being
you
all
ask me.
cocky with it.
Oh yes, and he's looking at Daenerys, and he's like, "Khaleesi."
Look at how glorious I am. And then
And Tyrion says, "You can end this."
he's like, hey, you don't
You're
have to
in
let this
charge.
happen. Yeah.
And his daughter says, "No, she can't. She's.
It's,
We're here."
Yeah, it's going to happen. Somebody is going to die.
So, luckiest guy ever, this Jorah, minus his grayscale.
Yep.
Yeah, Spear took out Water Dancer.
Marinese Spearman has good tactics. I'll give him that. Catch them while they're not looking.
And you can't miss these if you're not looking either. Goes to boom, eyebrows. Danny's eyebrows are front and center. And Jorah's victorious. The crowd boos him.
Yes, everyone hates the Westerosi Knight because everyone bet on somebody else.
Yeah.
So.
They weren't betting on this Westerosi person coming in here and winning, just like they weren't expecting for Danny to just waltz in here and be victorious over all of them.
Nope. And the way he kills the Marinese Spearman is really nice. He ducks into a roll and lets the guy fall on his sword, leaving the spear still standing upright, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which sets it up for the very next scene.
Oh.
My goodness.
Jorah, why are you throwing spears at your Khaleesi? He's
Yeah.
not.
It was a very good shot. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, it was a great shot. The harpies are here.
Harpies are everywhere.
Yeah, the harpies are everywhere.
Yeah.
The whisper song that comes up when they come up. Oh, it's so creepy. Like we knew what was coming to be our Drogon Ex Machina at the end of this, but it was
still a moment where we both had shivers. Yeah.
It was just like, this is really happening. They all turned on you in the middle of this place.
Yep.
And they didn't even need any honey locusts.
No, I left those at home.
With strong belwas. So, sympathizers are dying, freed slaves are dying, everybody's just dying. The Unsullied enter the fray.
Yep, they're getting butchered too. Yeah,
Hizdar
actually gets hit. Okay,
Hizdar gets stabbed in the chest, and we leave him for dead.
Okay, we have differing theories here. We'll just go ahead and flesh them out right quick. I am a firm believer in the sci-fi mantra of you do not assume someone is dead until you see them dead. Okay, now if you see someone dying, that doesn't mean they're dead. That means the last you saw of them, they were dying.
Dude, on Buffy, if you die, you get to work more. I understand where you're coming from.
So, it's hard for me to discount Hizdar out.
Yeah.
I think he got stabbed, certainly. But if you look at the film, he got hit on this right side, right here. So, that is possible to be stabbed there and not hit any too vital organs. But, I mean, he was down and bleeding.
He suspects him of being the harpy.
I do.
Punchline.
I do.
But fact of the matter is, he's been left for dead.
Yes. But I think he'll come back.
Okay. And so, Dany takes Jorah's hand. She's like, "We're in this together.
Let's go.
Here we go. It's been a long time."
I trust you. Yeah.
And so it's about to be a great big family reunion, I just realized.
Yes.
And so, she takes Jorah's hand. They start to descend into the pit to try and get Daenerys to safety. Tyrion saves Missandei from one of the harpies.
Excellent. We always forget about Tyrion, but yeah, he's got that scar for a reason.
Yeah.
He's a battler.
He's not here because he's pretty.
Like, I will give it to him. Yeah. Peter Dinklage, good for you this episode. Good for you, dude.
Kicking ass, saving pretty ladies, and we all like Missandei, I think.
Yes, we
Fair
do.
to say. Some people don't like the Grey Worm stuff. I think
Absolutely.
it's good.
It's whatever. Either way, Peter Dinklage stepping up.
Yeah, go.
A+.
And we're all in the pit. We're going into the pit.
Yes.
It's cray.
Yes.
They're trying to race out the gates, but the harpies are there and they close the gates.
Nope, there's harpies everywhere. What you gonna do?
We're surviving. All of our main folks, Jorah, Tyrion, Missandei, Dario, and Dany, we're all safe.
Yep, we're all in a circle in the middle of the pit.
Yeah, they are closing in on us, and there's no way out. And great necklace, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I had to
not
shout out
foreshadowing
that.
at all.
And like there's no way out, and she's resigned.
What do?
We're gonna die, and she takes Missandei's hand. I really like this moment. The relationship between Missandei and Dany is very important. If it's not as fleshed out here, obviously.
No.
But the relationship in the book, I like that they nodded to us with that Daenerys wanted, that she had somebody there.
Yeah.
With whom she had a real...
And would be at peace with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she closes her eyes and thank the Holy Seven.
Yep. Great balls of fire.
Okay. Drogon literally appears almost out of flame.
Yes, he does.
Swoops in.
Yep.
He says, I'm a dragon.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Went down, 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 and the flames went higher.
Yep.
And yeah, he's like, I'm here.
He shows up to save the day, believe it or not. He's not just there for decoration.
Tyrion's face was priceless. He was
Yes.
right there with us.
Yes,
We were
yes,
like-
yes.
And I have to say, the whole time that everything was going on with Charisse, this is me. This is my life.
Yeah.
The whole time that they were getting
Drogon?
super attacked by the harpies, I was like, oh my god. Because at this point, we're not in book territory anymore.
No, we're not. We're
We're-
outside of book territory.
We are out. Anybody can go.
Yeah.
If they could have killed Missandei.
They could have.
They could have killed Dario.
They could have killed Tyrion.
Eh,
Well, it's stretched, but they could
that's your
have.
moneymaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was one of those things. And when Drogon comes in here, you knew it was coming.
Yes.
But it just, the sigh of relief, Dany's face. She was
Yes.
like, oh, that's right, I have dragons.
Yep.
So, he just takes out everybody.
Yeah, left and right.
Yeah.
So, guys, chill. I got this.
Sons of who? And, so then the Sons of the Harpy are throwing spears. It's not cool. They're starting to annoy...
Yeah, they're wounding Drogon a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I mean, he's clearly pretty aggravated.
Yeah, he's only 3-ish years old.
And he's still very young.
Yeah, he's not mature. He can't... His scales apparently haven't gotten to where they are in the books.
Yeah. But that being said, Dany goes out and tries to confront him.
Yes, she's in pain. She's seeing her
sees
child in pain. She's
Yeah.
like, this is what's supposed to be important this whole time. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes out and she tries to remove the spears.
She gets one out,
Yeah, and...
and he shouts her down for it. Like, "Ha! That hurt!
Yeah. So,
The hell you doing?"
Yeah, and she goes, hey, I know you need a Band-Aid. And it's this nice moment because she tried to touch him and then he left her earlier in the season and now he's letting her touch her.
Yes.
And
it's coming home to mom is
yeah.
what it is.
And she says, I at this point, I got to help my child. This is
Yes.
what's important. We have to help each other.
Yes. Drogon cannot escape without Dany, and Dany cannot escape without Drogon.
Yes, and they are each other's freedom. And
Yes.
that's, like I said, what she's forgotten. She's forgotten that these dragons were
Her ticket.
Yeah. Like, she's leaving on a jet plane.
I mean, anyway, how
So-
she forgets some of this stuff. The spear scenes were very similar to the book. It was very reminiscent of the fighting pit scenes in the
Yes.
book, with a few minor alterations.
Yeah, there's some different stuff going on here, but I think it adds a bit more dramatic tension.
It does. The harpies attacking at the same time, that wasn't necessarily in the book either, but
Mhm.
it was very good.
And at this point, in the book, Dany has to actually whip and tame Drogon,
Yes.
where she's putting him under her control,
Rather than the TV show, she just hops on his back.
right, it
and
being their
goes.
mutual freedom.
Yeah.
She's freeing him, not taming him.
Yeah, it's more of a challenge in the book, at least from what I read.
Right, and so this is fucking epic. She gets on Drogon. It's the first time we've seen anybody ride a dragon.
First time in the series.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in the book when she rides a dragon. And
True.
so we are now
We are now in dragon riding territory.
Yeah.
It's exciting
It's
stuff.
a dance of dragons now.
It's exciting stuff.
We are here, and we leave Tyrion, Jorah, Dario, and Missandei. They're like,
Holding the reins of Marine, right?
Yeah, and
Things to look out for? I'd be willing to bet Tyrion picks up the reins of Marine.
okay, that's a good.
Being the diplomat that he is.
Yes, as far as Jorah and Dario, these are soldiers. And Missandei is a young counselor.
And too inexperienced to
Yes,
handle
and
that.
she's
His Dar is down for the count. He's either dead or he is out of commission for a while.
Well,
so there's got to be somebody to step up.
and if Hisdar does live, there would definitely be some clashing of heads between
absolutely.
Tyrion and Hisdar about how we progress in Marine.
In the book, this role would have been filled by Barristan Selmy at the time. But,
R.I.P. Barry.
but poor Mr. Selmy is not with us anymore.
He is not. Oh,
Sad day.
so what did you think?
I thought it was a great episode. It was one of the better episodes this season.
Yes.
Like I think we talked about it before that the first couple episodes felt really slow, but with
Very
these-
expositioning.
Yes, but with the last couple episodes, they're very picking up, and we're seeing a lot of content being jammed into the 1 hour that we have.
And again, all of our people are coming together.
Yes,
Sometimes for the wrong cause.
but hey,
Shireen, the Shireen stuff, you guys, again,
it's rough. It's rough all around.
it was so frightening, personally.
Yeah,
just
watching it was rough.
And shout out to the actress.
Yes.
She is.
Okay, A+ to that.
I love you.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
gosh.
she did a great job.
I'm glad you're not dead.
and she did it so well that it physically we almost had problems watching it. So that's a hallmark of great acting. So
Yes.
A+ to you.
Okay, so thoughts on Arya? Where do you think she's going from here?
Arya,
Do you think she's going to kill the Thin Man, or is she just going to go after Meryn?
no, Meryn is going to be the focus in Bravos for a little while, right? Simply because her time with Meryn and Mace Tyrell is going to be limited, so she's going to prioritize that. I think Not Jockin is already going to know about this, right?
Okay.
And he's going to allow her to continue on this path.
Okay.
That's where I think that's going.
Okay. What do you think about Jaime? How do you think his trip back to Dorne will go? How do you think he'll go? Do you think he'll go by ship, or how do you think things are going to go with him and Myrcella going forward?
Well, him and Myrcella, that's tough to predict. It really is. Because in the books, a couple different things happen on the way back, or when they try to send her back, and when they get an envoy, a couple different things happen. So it's hard to read into exactly where they're going with this, because this is fresh territory, too.
Yeah.
This is
Dorne is new.
Yeah, it's not in the book. We don't know where they could take this. So I'm going to reserve my judgment until I see more content from that.
All right, so we won't even talk about Jon.
No, we're not going to say anything about Jon.
Jon, just watch out, Jon.
For those who know, you know. But
Okay. Do you think that? Okay, so this is what I think. I think that once Jaime and Bronn and Myrcella and Trystane are all headed off to King's Landing, I think he's going to turn around to Ilaria and the Sand Snakes, just like he does in the book, and lay out what he's really got. I think he's got a master plan, and he's going to reveal that to us.
And I'm inclined to agree with that strategy. It really does, because he's been very complacent so far with the Lannister visit, despite being overly offended and overly the ingracious way they came into the country and did things, right? Like, he killed several soldiers coming in. That's not how you do
It's not cute.
But that being said, he's been very forgiving. He's let them go. Bronn got off with a punch. I mean, come on, that's it. So at this point,
Doran is more than this.
Yeah, he's got something up his sleeve, and I'm inclined to agree with you on that one.
Okay. So yeah, we've been to pretty much everybody's Stannis. Where do you think this is going to go for Stannis?
The grammar Nazi. I think he's going to keep correcting people's grammar all the way throughout the episode until somebody burns him at the stake. No, I'm kidding. He's going to probably get to Winterfell, and we're going to see a siege here soon, is where I think that's going to happen. How it's going to work out for him is anybody's guess, because it works out one way in the book, and this is a little bit different.
Yeah, this is quite different.
Yeah.
But yes, it's quite different with Shireen.
Yeah.
Shireen in the books, the Holy Seven is still safely up the wall.
Yes.
Thanks.
She did not go on the siege trip with them.
No, she did
Which
not.
is different for the TV show, I guess.
Davos will be going to the wall, so that's something for Jon to deal with
Yes.
soon.
Yeah.
He's not going to like that very much,
No.
and Davos already doesn't like going there in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that Davos is going to get to the wall, and rather than Jon sending food, I think he's going to send wildlings. I think he's going to be like, why don't you just have all these people that can't feed?
That's actually a very good strategy, and I think it would work out that way.
Yeah. And yeah, so where's Danny flying off to? Do you think we'll see her again for the rest of the season?
Yes,
I don't think we will.
I actually do think we'll see something of her, if not next episode, but the very last episode of the season. Because we only got 2 more.
No, we've got one more.
Okay,
there are only 10 episodes.
Okay, so we have 1 more episode. I think we'll see a brief scene from her little adventures in the wilderness.
I think she's gone.
Think she's gone?
I don't think we'll pick up with her until the first episode of 6.
Entirely could happen.
I think it would work better for the show.
Yeah.
If we're just like Tyrion and Miss Sandy and everybody.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're definitely gonna see something of Marine.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see Marine. I think it would be better if we
Danny.
didn't see Daenerys.
Yeah.
And be lost with them.
Yeah, and nobody knows what's up with her. She might be dead, because that's the way it is in the books. There's the whole period where Barristan Selmy is trying to keep a handle on things. There's mad speculation going among everybody saying that Daenerys is dead. She died in the fighting pit.
I saw her die. I saw her fall off Drogon.
I saw her fly away.
I saw Drogon eat her.
There's all kinds of theories.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows what to think.
They just know she's nowhere to be seen.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's our episode. Thank you for tuning in. Jason, plug your channel.
My channel is Defense of the Ancients, 2 videos. It's my name. We'll put a link to it down in the description.
Yeah.
It's nerdy stuff, but if you're into that kind of thing, I'll put up a new video.
If you can nerd with the best of them, check out his channel. And you can come back to my channel anytime. Thank you for joining us today at the Buffington Post. You can come back, like I said, anytime for Buffyverse discussions, Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, random TV reviews as such for Game of Thrones every week. And we'll probably do an episode review and maybe a comprehensive season review.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There's plenty still to talk about.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I hope you're having a great 2015 so far, everybody. Have yourself a great day today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
You wanna be on top? Wanna be on top?